secrecy. This path can be followed as a trail as we start to begin to see the similar themes and symbolism. But even stranger, it would seem that the Templars were well aware of the secret arts of alchemy. Shrouded in mystery, has long been a debate among historians and scholars. We now have arrived to one of the crucial connections. They are accused unjustly that they faced a fake persecution, which many may have a difficult time doing because it's Christianity's most popular military order. Countless video games, movies have been made, and their influence on our culture is quite significant to many people. It seems that we may be dealing with dogma, but interestingly, we will see how this ties into alchemy and early pirates who were attempting to possess ancient antiquitech. The Knights Templar have the story that they were known as the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon, that after the first aftermath of the Crusades, the medieval Christian military order was formed so that the poor fellow soldiers, starting from just a small group of 9 knights, which was led by Hugues de Payens and Godfrey de Saint-Omer, they had set off with the mission and took monastic vows to protect Christian pilgrims who were supposedly being attacked by Muslims on the way to the Holy Land. One of the strange things about this whole story is the whole donations stuff. Because what ended up happening is that they were literally donated massive amounts of money and architecture, really for no apparent reason other than inspiring others because of their duties to protect. The Knights Templar derived their name from the location where they granted accommodations by King Baldwin II, within his castle and above the supposed remains of Solomon's temple. Not sure why he would do that, but okay. Then the members of the order took vows of personal poverty. Yet the Templars as an organization accumulated substantial wealth and influence, which is contradictory. In 1129, Saint Bernard of Clairvaux not
Whites are
only
just like
contributed
that.
a generous sum of
Contradictory
money to
to what?
support the order, but also played a pivotal role in promoting their cause. Owing to their military prowess, the Templars were entrusted with the responsibility of safeguarding and transporting funds for individuals who were reluctant to travel with large sums of money, fearing theft or assault. Let's remember that's the mainstream story because similar to the Vanderbilts, we have another rags to riches story. The Templars ended up gaining billions of dollars of wealth. Literally, the Templars were the first massive bank. By the mid-12th century, the order had established a network of preceptories, regional headquarters, across Europe and the Holy Land. These preceptories generated revenue through donations, land acquisitions, and agricultural production. As their wealth increased, the Templars began to develop financial services that laid the foundation for modern banking. They offered loans, issued letters of credit, and provided secure storage for valuables, which allowed them to establish a rudimentary banking system. This system, in turn, facilitated trade and enabled the transfer of funds across Europe and the Middle East. So, they were the predecessors to the Dutch East India Company. The Templars were arguably the first transnational corporation. The Knights Templar amassed an immense fortune in a relatively short period, the mainstream story being that they attracted both admiration and envy. As their wealth grew, they became the first true international banking institution, issuing promissory notes that would lay the foundation for modern banking practices, including the origins of the dollar bill, which explains more why we see the symbols that we do today on our money. The Templars acquired vast tracts of land and castles, solidifying their influence and power across Europe and the Middle East. So wait, they started from protecting pilgrims on the roads from Saracen thieves, and now they own their entire fleet of ships, a banking system that processes shipments around the world, including to Muslim territories, and then became treasure hunters seeking some type of ancient artifact known as the Ark of the Covenant? How does that all add up? There's no doubt that they were funded and supported by royalty. They owned much of the land in Europe and were the advisors to the European monarchs. This gave them much political power behind the scenes. That's why the reasons for the motive for prosecuting the Knights are still unclear. Many secret societies and modern-day orders claim ancestry to the Templars, and it is fact that the original Templar order, founded in 1119, was created with the assistance of the Muslim Saracens, or the Knights of Saladin, a fact that challenges conventional understandings of their origin. While the subject of the Templars often evokes passionate responses, driven in part by many secrets and shady dealings associated with the order that would bring many things to question, so it's important to take a step back and examine the facts. We've been discussing the amount of influence that alchemy has had on medieval Europe, and we know that they share a similar Abrahamic bloodline and tradition. That will be shown soon. Visible, or as they term themselves, philosophical college, do now and then honor me with their company. So, whether the skeptics believe the subject of secret brotherhoods means nothing. We know that they were indeed having secret meetings on the secrets of life. As Rosicrucianism developed into Freemasonry throughout Europe, there was a strong presence of the Golden and Rosy Cross. In the ancient accepted Scottish Rite, which was first practiced in France, the literal 18th degree is called the Knight of the Rose Cross. The two earliest Freemasons were Sir Robert Murray and even Ashmole, the author of the chemistry book that we went over earlier. Now, there's no denying the connection, or at least it's worth an investigation, if these matters are kept secret and the scholars showed no interest to connect this secrecy to the subjects of hidden arts and sciences. Masons make it clear that their ancestry goes back to the Knights Templar, and this is also clear in Rosicrucian philosophy and symbolism. However, the Rosicrucians preserve this knowledge with a little bit more secrecy. This path can be followed as a trail as we start to begin to see the similar themes and symbolism. But even stranger, it would seem that the Templars were well aware of the secret arts of alchemy.